The internet can totally see me now. So hi guys, it's day 62 of Karen's 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. I have worked for my half hour today already. So basically, what's pretty cool, and I didn't realize I could do this, okay? But in Clip Studio, now so I use Scrivener to write in, and you can do this in Scrivener. But instead of having your windows side by side, on tabs, you can actually, or making one like loose, you can actually pull one up and down. I think I just moved it now. You can actually move it so that that your tabs are next to each other, like so. Or if you want to have two screens open at once, so say you need reference from the page before, you just pull the tab and you set it above. Well, I think I might, there we go. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Now I've got a split screen between page 2 and page 3. So I have before in the past used the sub viewer. I've also opened a window and threw it on my other screen. But this way is actually, as long as I don't need like a huge surface to draw on, this way is actually better for me because I don't have to move. I have a very small Cintiq. It's the 13 HD, not the touchscreen one, but so it's only a 13-inch screen. So it's pretty small, but I don't like to have to then look up to my Mac. So it's easier just to so like for example, I was trying to reference these aliens from the panel on page 2. I was trying to get the long-haired alien in the high heels, and I was also trying to get these guys from panel 3 on page 2. And so I accidentally realized I could open them up above each other with a split screen this way, and that made it like a freaking million times easier. I do this all the time in Scrivener when I'm writing and I'm going from outline to draft, or or plotting, and so I use Scrivener for a lot of things, and so I totally use this feature in Scrivener, and I did not know Clip Studio could also do it. So yeah, that was pretty sweet. So for example, I was trying to figure out how to do this guy's costume from behind, and since I've never done, he's just a walk-on character, I didn't do a turnaround or anything, and I was also trying to figure out this guy from behind. So it was so much nicer to have them here on the top screen just to look at while I was to draw, like right above me as I'm drawing. So anyway, if you're using Clip Studio and you haven't found this handy trick, I totally hope you use it. Now my video output is low again. So yesterday, YouTube had 0 problems with my live stream, and today it's having problems again. Also, nobody's using the internet in the house. It's just me. Perhaps it's because let me close my mail, and I have a reference window open of Firefox, which is acting up in general. So let me close Firefox. And let me turn off my mail. Mail, go away. I don't need you. I will check you out later. Quit mail. And I will see if that improves anything. I don't know that it will or won't. You never know. I'll also close this other window that I don't need. My stream health is still crap. So Mike Emirates happened to watch one of my previous days where I was streaming, and I was frustrated thinking I had crappy, the streaming page was telling me my stuff was like buffering and awful, and he said it was okay as a viewer. So hopefully that's still the case. So anyway, I've already put in my 30 minutes, but I am going to stream. And 30 minutes, honestly, was like spent. Okay, so it was more. I spent more like an hour on it while I was listening to videos and other stuff. But a lot of it was spent on trying to get these high heels from behind correct while walking, and I still don't think I got them 100% right. But I think, you know, they're going to be small, and I think they're passable, so I'm going to leave it be. Because again, this is really a very small frame. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll, like I said, I think it's going to be passable. So what I need to do now is draw. I kind of feel like there's like not enough people on this spaceship. Like I feel like it should be like dirty huddled masses, but I don't want to draw dirty huddled masses. I mean, let's see how many people we have in this other screen up here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people in just this one area of the spaceship, and then the security guard. So, you know, and not all these people are going to the same place. I'm imagining it's kind of like when you walk off of an airport, you know, when you debark from the airplane into the concourse, and then, you know, you go down to your plane. This goes down to the hangar. Then you come off into a main area, and there's other paths. So that's kind of what I'm imagining here. But I don't know. I mean, I could draw more people, but do I really need to? Would more people help tell the story? Or I guess the question is when I'm doing this, it's like, do more people help? So more people might help set the mood. But do they help tell the story? Or do I have enough to tell the story? And the story that's being told is that this main character is going to go through security. All for the purpose of so we can figure out who she is. Well, also now that I've decided to add like interior monologue commentary and and dialogue and stuff, we'll get more of her personality too, but still. So yeah. So I need to now I think I had a sketch of her. I think I realized that when she's going through security, I figured out that, you know, I mean, with my many layers, I have way too many layers going on here. That she was holding her bag in the panel on the bottom of page 2 with her left hand, which is the hand that she would have, her non-dominant hand, which is the hand that she would have her security, her ID, her ident chip, or whatever we would call it. You know, I don't need this guy anymore. Delete him. I don't believe I need this sketch layer anymore. I'll delete that. Okay, this is the sketch layer that has my main character on it, I believe. Let's bring this up. There we go. Now she's even smaller back here. Oh. I probably should get my reference for what she looks like. I think I can fake it. So I think I decided that she has to move. So she had to switch her hands. At some point while she was like coming through this thing, she picked up her bag with her other hand. And so now I need to figure out some actual real anatomy here. And again, so I should probably start talking about and linking. So I made a decision today that I've been wrestling with for a while. Most of the art that I do or have done prior to this, even comic book stuff I've done, has been like general audience stuff. And this comic is going to be a more not, I mean, there's going to be not safe for work parts of it. So it's more adult. It's like more of a rated R as opposed to a PG-13 comic, okay? So I've been wrestling for a while about what to do with it, where to present it. When it's finished. Should I sell it? Should I not sell it? How is it going to fit in? Where I'm going to pimp it out? Where is it going to fit in with the rest of my stuff? And I decided that, hold on, I need to pull up. Oh, I don't really want to open up another window because my stream, all right, I'll just have to fake it. So my stream is actually green and healthy right now, so I don't want to mess it up by opening any other windows. I don't want to necessarily put it on my website because my website is geared towards my illustration work, my non-cartoon, non-comic illustration work, plus my client work and my coloring books. Okay, so and then so I was like, I don't want to have to get another. I've got lots of pen names for different things, regardless, whatever. So anyway, I was having a big problem, right? So then I decided, look, I'm just going to put it, I'm not really utilizing my Patreon to the fullest, even though I had, like many, I've set up my Patreon and then I didn't really keep up with it or give it a good focus or even promote it at all. And I know that there are other creators out there that use Patreon. I follow a couple that use Patreon for adult themed work, and there are others that are like Jason Brubaker, who's here on YouTube and is an amazing artist, experimenting with Patreon only comics. And so I thought, well, there's like another there's a totally not safe for work gay comic book that I just, a web comic that I just love to pieces. I think it's so well done by somebody who offers, I think she puts the safe for work versions on social media, but her not safe for work stuff is for patrons only. And that, I can't say the name of the comic, but it's by Lucid. It's yaoi, and I like it because her art's great, but also it's not just, it's a really great love story between two young characters. Anyway, so I know that, so I don't expect to, what am I trying to say? And I know other people have, who do webcomics and stuff, have been using their Patreon for their comics forever. So I thought, why not? I'll put it there. And once I can't even draw this character from this point of view, this small. I'm going to need to pull up my reference probably. Totally going to need to pull up my reference. what am I trying to say? Yeah, so I'm going to offer it there. So what I thought I would do is, if anybody's interested in supporting me as I'm like drawing it, then I will release the pages to the patrons when they're finished and totally lettered and everything else. I'll release them to my patrons, and then at the end, so I have like 2 tiers right now. $1 gets you access to like the patrons or to the pages, whatever. And if you pay $5 at the end when it's done, you can have the whole book as a PDF. And I expect it to be over like around 30 pages. So, and I probably will at some point decide whether or not I'm going to put it out in a book form. But this would be the page, instead of like sticking it on Tapas or Webtoons or something, which I don't even know if you can do like adult themed comics on there. Anyway, that's what I'm going to try. And I am not known for my comics, and I don't really expect to have a huge following on there with this comic. But if I continue to make this series, like if I turn this into a series, or I do other, like if I do another book with this character, or if I do other adult comics, I can do the same going forward. And that way I'm keeping it separate and safe, I guess. Not that it's going to be controversial or anything, but like, you know, I just don't want it to be, I just don't want it mixing with my general stuff, because sometimes, you know, family friendly stuff, people can get upset when you, they think you're just like family friendly, and then suddenly they encounter something of yours that's not, you know, they might get upset with you. So I don't want that. I want, and since I can put, you know, a block on the Patreon content, hopefully that will alleviate that situation from occurring. And allow me to do the two, because I like to do many, many different types of art and things and stories, and I don't want to have to compartmentalize myself, really. So, I mean, I don't have to change names and have secret accounts and, you know, but this way, if I have the not safe for work stuff safe behind, then people know, well, either if they don't want that access to that stuff, they don't go to my Patreon. So, and I realize that there will always be people who will like get into your Patreon somehow, or even people that are like, you know, subscribe for a while. They could take stuff and disseminate it, but you know, at least I've done my part in trying to. So anyway, I'm going to use this comic as my first stepping stone for the next few months into Patreon and developing my Patreon. So I'll start putting more focus there. And if you guys are interested in supporting me, that would be great. And I'll have to try to learn how to like talk about it without feeling embarrassed, because I think we all do that when we start a Patreon. People who start a Patreon, it's hard to talk about it. It's hard to say, hey, you know, it feels like you're begging, but I'm not, but you're not. People aren't begging because they're getting something. They're getting a subscription service, basically, is what it is. So, but it's still hard to, you know, wrap your head around it. It's hard enough just to like talk about your work and market yourself in the normal ways than saying, hey, come check out my Patreon and support me over there. But it's cool because if people aren't interested in what you're doing on the Patreon, they don't have to come. So anyway, that's what I've decided to do. I still think, but I'll probably, so like I said, so Jason Brubaker, he's doing it with his newest comic. It's going to be his newest webcomic. It's going to be a Patreon only for the digital version, but then he'll launch a Kickstarter to make his beautiful hardcover books later with it when he's got enough. So if you love his work, I suggest, and you're not one of his patrons, I suggest you go over there and become one of his patrons so you can get access to his comic book. And he has been live streaming a bit of the progress as he does the first few pages. And so go check out his recent live streams if you haven't. And then you can decide if you want to get in on his book or not. But it looks super great. Super great. I'm such a good writer. It looks super great, man. And no, it's really pretty. It's going to be a really great comic, I think, visually. And the rest of it, his stories are always good quality, so I'm sure it'll be great too. But anyway, he's already, like, I don't expect to have any kind of success like Jason Brubaker, but you know, again, it's just for people who want to read this to have a place to read it. It's where I don't have to mix it with my other work. So I need to pull back and see what my proportions are like here. Anyway, so that was my big decision, and I agonized over it for a little while. And I posted about it on my Facebook today, and I just so I'll probably start doing the thing that everybody else does, you know, hey, if you want to support my channel and my comic, if you like this comic and you want to read it, blah, 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 come check it out on my Patreon where you can have it. You know, I'll do all that, I guess. I'll have to start practicing how to say that. Because that's where this is going to live. So I'm still going to show, I don't know what I'm going to do about the 30 days, the 100. So I'm going to show making it through the 100 days of comics. Still, this is day 62, so I have 38 days left. And then I was thinking about continuing with continuing the progress videos of this on the YouTube as I go. But now that I'm going to put it on Patreon only, I'm thinking, well, should I not do that? So I guess what my decision on this at this point is, I think that I'm not going to run another, I don't know. I'm going to finish the 100 days with this. And I'm thinking loud and trying to draw at the same time, and it never works out. So I have two options. I can keep streaming, and you know, the pages technically won't be finished and officially because I won't be doing the text and everything on here. So it's not like I'll be releasing the pages on here, but it will be spoiling things for people who would necessarily, you know, anybody who actually is going to be a patron for the comic. So that might not be good, or I could just, I could work on little panels at a time, or I could just stop working on this publicly, and just put it under my Patreon. So I think since I made the decision, I probably won't I might show a panel or two as I'm working on it on YouTube, but I won't continue to do what I'm doing here, where I'm showing all of it. Only because if I'm going to I need to give somebody an incentive, right? People want to, yeah. People aren't going to pay for it if they can just see it on my YouTube. I guess. I don't know. This is all very new territory for me and kind of dicey, but yeah. So that is my thoughts. If you have any comments about it or whatever, let me know. Reaction, support, if you think I should do something different, why. Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing it. trying to think, how does her vest... So in this she had her hair down over her shoulder, but maybe it's swung out and it's just hanging down now, because I don't really want to draw it on her shoulder. Maybe her braid is just hanging down her back now. When she bent over to, maybe she flipped it back over her shoulder or something. So I am going to stop this stream at 30 minutes. So I'm at 26. I'm going to keep this one shorter. So yeah, I don't expect to get, I'm only going to get like another page or two at the most in the next month done. So I will continue to work on this. But once I start getting into the meat of the story, I'm going to, because I'm technically still in, I might do that. I might go up to the first plot point. I might draw on YouTube up to the first plot point and then maybe start hiding some of it. Because that's when the story, like think about the movie, the story doesn't really the movie doesn't start really get moving until the first plot point hits, and the rest is all set up. So I might do that, because I do want to continue to garner interest if anybody keeps finding me through my live streams and stuff. And I might draw like, non-spoilery scenes on my live too. Like if I'm doing like a panel and it's like a close-up of somebody's face or something, I might draw that on my YouTube. But I won't do full page stuff after. So anyway, so that's a thought. That's what I'm thinking. Pardon me. Now, one leg is obviously way longer than the other if I do that, so I got to figure out her stance here. She's really tall. She's like 6 foot tall, this chick. She's crikey. So like in theory, probably she's standing straight. If she's standing like with one hip, it's hard to see in profile, right? Like how is she? Originally I had her with her stomach more curved. I don't know if that's... She does have a name, by the way. She had been nameless for a while, so I decided that I had mentioned in earlier streams that her name was originally, when I conceived of this character way back in my college years, she was different looking. The only thing that's really stayed the same about her is that she's lean. Her occupation, her general look and the long ponytail, but she went from being white with green or with gold eyes and a long red braid to an ethnic person of color with gold eyes and a long mohawk braid. But her name was Lara, and then Tomb Raider was put out, and I felt she was too close to Lara Croft, the name. So, with the long braid and everything else, her original looked more like. So now I've kept her name similar, but it's Zara Nova, I think is her name now. Zara Nova. Well, we'll see. I still need a name for the character with the long black hair. And oh, hello, it's about these awesome students. Yes, I will. I don't know if you've got your voice on, so I'll write down her new name. Okay, you ready for it? Zara Nova. The Wicked and the Divine. I don't know this. Should I know this? Should I go look it up? Should I Google The Wicked and the Divine? Oh, you do? Oh. Usually this time of night, Zara Nova. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm glad. Because, so, there's another woman character that she meets as her contact who works with her. And so I think all the women that work together are going to have some kind of like star-themed name. So I think the other woman's last name is Luna, because they're not their actual. They're like, their working names, I guess. Okay, The Wicked and the Divine. Let me write that down. The Wicked and the Divine. Uh-oh, I just dropped. Uh-oh. Where did that go? I think I just lost a crochet hook. And by a really little one. No. Did it fall in the garbage? Because if it did, I'm going to cry. Shoot. Yeah, I was just going off about what I don't think it was a crochet. What is this? Oh, okay. If I'm lucky, all it was this darning needle. And I will save that. I recovered it. I think that was all it was. The darning needle. I think it fell between the crack between my shelf and my desk. Wait a minute. The Wicked and the Divine is what I was doing. The Wicked. Yeah, she's an assassin. The Wicked and the Divine. All right, must look that up. Yes, she is an assassin. And so she has a code. Her name is, not her real name. And so I'm thinking there's like a whole sisterhood of these assassin chicks. And they all have like, because, I'm not going for like, oh, that's very sweet. I'm not going for like super, hi Rachel, hi Therese. It's a comic book, right? So I can have some kind of cheese factor going on in my comic. So, the cheese factor. Yeah. So the other character's last name is Luna, and I don't know that I need her first name because this character is just going to refer to her as Luna when they're when they're talking. So if there are any other characters, they'll all have like, you know, last names that are stars. What class do Rachel and Therese study with you? Like what course? Let her foot be up. This one be down. That might be how it would be. Animation. Wow. You guys are all amazing because if I tried to do animation, I would break. My brain would break. Sabethy knows this. So, and I've always kind of wanted to try it, but I don't dare. So, because if I could maybe be somebody who could do, I don't know if I'm even like referring it to correctly, but like, is it the keyframes or is it, I know I couldn't be an in-betweener because I would like want to make the in-betweens like so perfectly on model and perfect, and I would never get anything done and I would be in trouble. So, but I don't really know. That might not even be how you do animation anymore these days because I don't know anything about it. But I have studied animation techniques on try to like learning character design and how to move characters and how to pose characters and how to get more fluidity in my work, which I really need to do, and how to make consistency and turnarounds and things. So I think I need to study more. I think I need to study more animation techniques. Bethy, take notes so you can make some videos for your channel so that I can learn from you. Write these ideas down. Her foot is enormous. Why are you so big? That's better. But now she's not tall enough, I think. I mean, now she needs to be moved down. Wait, no, now her foot's too small. Ugh. Yeah, today you're on the clock, right? You can you go back and let's see. You go back and watch. I'll just request it from you later. You know I will. So the thing also that I can't figure out is if I go back to this page, like how I don't know that I've drawn a vest from the side. See, an animator would know how to do this. How would I draw? Oops. How do I draw her vest? From the side. It's this part right here that confuses, where it comes, because it's open, so how does her chest burst through? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I think grading is probably more important than watching me. Did you hear my spiel about why I decided to put this comic on Patreon? At the beginning of this stream? I did, but you might not have come on yet. So it would rest on her breasts and not burst through. Thank you. So it would go out like this. But see, she's got such small, she's very, she's got a petite chest, so I don't know how much. She's super small. I just need to get the shape right. I don't need to get a lot of detail on it because she's wicked small in the background here. Yeah, that's pretty much why. Like, because I didn't know. The rest of my work is like PG-13, right? So I just didn't have a good fit for where to put this with the rest of my stuff that I do because I do so many different things. I'm not just like. So then it hit me, I'm not really utilizing my Patreon. It's been sitting there. I've sort of neglected it. And then I was listening to Jason Brubaker. I was watching his recent live streams, and he's going to be doing his, and he's not the only one. There are other people I follow on Patreon that are doing comics, but he's putting his latest comic on Patreon only, but it's not sexy themed. What are you telling me about her thing? It doesn't matter. The way the vest is sitting is over her chest. This suggests a stiffer fabric, so for it to fall away from there would be off. You're exactly right. It has to go over. It is a stiff fabric. You see what? I would have done it wrong without you, Tzibethy. So anyway, if you aren't following Jason Brubaker on the YouTubes, I suggest you do so because his art is beautimous. But his latest Patreon is going to be, or his latest webcomic is going to be a Patreon. As it's released, it's going to be a Patreon exclusive, and then he's going to print it. So, but it's not a not safe for work comic. There are other people that I follow that do some very schmexy, not safe for work comics, and they're Patreon subscriptions. And this really isn't going to be that racy or anything. It's just that it's rated R compared to a rated PG-13, I think. So I just didn't want to like muddy up my brand or whatever. If I have a brand. I didn't want to have people who were coming looking for my coloring books and my family stuff to be all offended when they saw adult things, I guess, is what I was thinking. Now, I think that she's off, and I need to turn this other layer off, and I think I need to do some measurements because either I need to make her body bigger or I need to make her head smaller. I need to make her body bigger. Ah, it's too big. It doesn't really matter. She's like teeny tiny in the background. So teeny tiny that all these details won't even show up. I just can't. I just want it to look sort of right. I even feel like that's too big. That is too big. That is too big. She really does have a small chest. Yeah, I'll let you. Yeah, I will. Well, I have lots of different projects in the works, and it's always been So like I've already got a couple different like ways of doing my name that are sort of like pen names already, and I couldn't bear to have another one. So and part of me rebels against that. I just because every time you get a pen name, right, you have to then market that name deserves, if you're going to really market yourself, that pen name needs a website. That pen name needs a social media presence. If you want to engage with fans and sell ads and all this other stuff, that pen name might need a Facebook group. That pen name might need, and you can't just like have a pen name and then not promote. So you have to promote that. Then you have to promote your regular name. Then you have to promote, depending on how many projects you have. Like, so I'm trying to limit my I used to have a lot of different websites. A few years ago, I had tons of different things and I just decided to get rid of a lot of them. And it's a long story. It's a long story, but and just try to streamline. And now I'm finding that I'm going to have to branch out again. And if I could just stick to one consistent thing, that would be fine. But since I'm a weirdo and I like to do like a million different projects, for marketing, you have to have different brands, and it sucks, man. It just, even if you're not self-publishing and you're going with like a traditional publisher, you have to, the way the world is right now in marketing, that's how it is. And that's what readers want. Yeah, porn comics need to go under a pen name. And then keep your real name vanilla. Keep your real name vanilla, and any other kind of naughty stuff, you got to put it under a pen name. Unless you're only ever going to do porn stuff and that's what you're going to be known for, and you don't have a need. I suppose you could do all your porn stuff under your regular name, and then for your like non-porn stuff, if you were going to, then you could have a pen name for non-porn stuff. Anyway, it is what it is. So like let's say I ended up getting like a children's book published or something, because I do have some irons in the fire there, right? I probably shouldn't have a not safe for work comic out there while I am like being a child in the children's book market. I mean, not that it has to be hidden totally, but it shouldn't just be like something that if you typed in one name, you would stumble upon it in relation to it. So, but there's no guarantee that I'll ever do anything like in the children's book. It's just that I have some ideas for that, and we'll see. But I might never ever do anything, but I guess and I could just come up with a pen name for that, but yeah. And then I have some other projects that, oh, whatever. I don't want to talk about, I hate talking about all the things I'm going to do, because until I actually do them, it's like sort of a moot point, right? I'll talk about them with you later, but if you're curious. But other than that, like, the rest of the world probably doesn't care until I actually do it. Her lips need to be bigger, longer, wider. That makes her look strange. Again, she's going to be so little, nobody's going to see any of this detail. Why do I bother? I bother because I can. All right, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, end of the day, this I just I don't know why I worry about the. Okay, I know why I'm worrying about these details. A, because I'm pedantic, as we know, and B, because even practicing getting the little things right in the background is just going to help me later on when I'm drawing bigger things. So she's still a little bit. She's still a little bit. Is she still a little bit big? Should she be slightly smaller? I think she needs to be slightly smaller. Because she's farther back. She just needs a touch, just to be a touch smaller. That's better. If this is a 3 foot, yeah, because if this is a 3 foot counter and she's 6 foot tall, or a 2 foot counter, I don't even know how tall that is. I think she needs to be a little bit smaller. Look at that, maybe a little bit bigger, like that. So look, I was only going to stream for a half hour and then you came online. You see how you are? I want my ice to melt because I want to chew on it. Don't you hate it when the ice like fuses together, like you're hoping it'll get small enough to chew on and then it fuses together into a solid lump and then it's like even bigger than it was before and then you can't chew on it? It's a pisser. It's a pisser. So anyway, I think I've got all the major people up here done, and then tomorrow I will continue putting the background in. I will ink that lady. I could ink her now. All right, let's just ink her now before I go. Let's ink her. Inky, inky. Because there is a dog and video games calling me downstairs. I haven't shot anything today on the game, and you know, tomorrow school starts. Here in my town. I gave this woman the largest eyebrows ever recorded in the history of eyebrows. Let's fix that. I'm going to try to change up my sleep schedule. But we all know how well I do with that to adjust to the school year starting back up. I don't even know if I should put a highlight on her hair right now. She's so far back there. Aw. All right, lady. You go. I'll be up for a little while. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to go down and play some video games for a little bit before bed if you want to text me later. So, if not, I'll talk to you tomorrow or whenever. Have a great evening. I know the dog just showed up. You know what that means. I know it, dog. You can just wait a minute, please. Let me ink this lady first. Let me get her started because I'll correct her tomorrow. So, all right. Have a safe trip home. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to your students. Adios. I know, just a dang minute, dog. Just a minute, dog. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't want to hear it from you. I don't. I don't want to hear it. Shh. Stop. I'm not going downstairs yet. Don't whine at me. Shush. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. You're making me yell. Hush. Go downstairs. I'll be down in a minute. All right. See you later. Oh, I think that's actually supposed to be a straight. Oh, I see. I haven't even drawn this yet, so how would this pocket go? Oh no, there's a boob on the screen. There's a boob on the screen. Quick, hide it. Hide the boobies. Ah, more boobies. All right. Bye-bye, boobies. Watch, I get dinged for saying the word booby. I don't think I got dinged yesterday on that for singing The Sounds of Silence. So that's shocking. Maybe my singing was so unrecognizable and terrible, YouTube didn't catch me yesterday. Was it yesterday that I was singing that? I think it was. And now it's stuck in my head. You know, she's still, I drew her really flat, and I think she's still supposed to be. Is she more flat on, or is she still at a down curve? I don't know. I think I just blew my perspective with her here. I blew my perspective. Oh well. That looks strange. I'll fix it tomorrow. Just ink this in now. All right. I'm definitely probably going to have to adjust this tomorrow, but I'm going to just quickly finish this off. And everything's going to be shaded, so let's see. I might adjust things after I shade. So let's turn off the layer and see how she... It's passable, I think. I just want her to be obvious that it's her later. All right, so I need to link my Patreon in here now. I'll edit that after I sign off. So hey, you guys, thanks for watching. I'll be around tomorrow to do the rest of my stream. I mean, to do the day 6. I'll come back with day 63 tomorrow. And what's going on here? Does that have a big piece of eczema? Ugh, what is on? Something is wrong with my arm. Ugh. Anyway, I'll have to look at that later. What am I trying to say? That was a weird interlude. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be working on this same panel. Hopefully I'll get all the background stuff mostly laid in. And then I'll work on the next panel. I think I'm going to try to do the shading all at once on this page to see if I can go faster that way. We'll see. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for day 63. And I'll talk to you guys then. Thanks for tuning in, checking me out live, and following me afterwards. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.